Wayne "The Sock" Johnson was about to make his mark at a Hollywood gym opening. But when he stepped into the spotlight, something unexpected turned his world upside down. A gym opening meant to celebrate his success was suddenly hijacked by an old rival's face. Was this just a bad surprise, or had Jin Fiesel been planning a move all along? The real drama? It was only just beginning. The air outside the Hollywood Boulevard gym was electric. Paparazzi jostled for the best angles, fans screamed, and fitness influencers posed on the red carpet. This wasn't just another gym opening, it was a spectacle, and Wayne "The Sock" Johnson was the star. As his SUV pulled up, the energy surged. The crowd chanted his name, smartphones capturing every second as he stepped out, suited up like he was ready for a blockbuster premiere. Wayne's smile was all charm and confidence as he waved to the fans, stopping to fist bump a few lucky ones. Tonight was meant to be his celebration, a crowning moment in his fitness empire. The gym's tagline, "Strength Redefined," felt tailor-made for him. He strode forward, soaking in the cheers until something stopped him dead in his tracks. Hanging above the gym's sleek glass entrance was an enormous poster. Not just any poster. Jin Fiesel's face stared back at him, larger than life, smirking like he'd just won the lottery. Beneath it, in bold letters, the tagline read, "Strength has a new name." The crowd hushed as Wayne's smile vanished. He squinted, as if hoping his eyes were playing tricks. A murmur rippled through the audience. Someone near the entrance whispered, "Is this part of the show?" Wayne turned to the event organizer, a frazzled man in a headset who looked like he'd just seen his life flash before his eyes. "What the hell is this?" Wayne's voice was calm but carried the weight of a storm about to break. "Oh, Mr. Johnson, there's been a last-minute change," the organizer stammered. "Jin Fiesel is, a silent partner in the gym." Wayne stared at him, unblinking. Silent partner? That doesn't look very silent to me. The tension was palpable. Cameras clicked furiously, capturing every micro-expression on Wayne's face. The murmurs turned into hushed conversations. "Isn't this his gym?" someone asked. Didn't they hate each other after Fast and Furious? Without another word, Wayne turned, his towering frame moving with deliberate purpose. He walked past the red carpet, past the fans, and straight back to his SUV. The driver scrambled to open the door, and within seconds, the sock was gone. The crowd was stunned into silence before exploding into chaos. Reporters shoved microphones at the organizer, demanding an explanation. Fans pulled out their phones, tweeting furiously. Within minutes, the hashtags #SockWalksOut and #VinTakesOver were trending worldwide. Inside the gym, the event manager sat down on a bench, wiping sweat from his brow. "We're going viral," his assistant said, trying to sound optimistic. "Yeah," the manager muttered, staring at the poster. But not for the right reasons. And so the stage was set. The sock had left the building, but the drama was only just beginning. The social media frenzy was already reaching a fever pitch when a cryptic video appeared on Jin Fiesel's Instagram. Shot in cinematic black and white, it showed him casually walking through the now infamous gym, hands in his pockets, his trademark smirk plastered across his face. "I guess not everyone can handle real strength," he said, his tone oozing with smugness. "But hey, the doors are open for those who can. Welcome to my gym." He flashed a peace sign and the video ended. The internet imploded. Fans were split, with #Team Jin and #Team Sock battling it out in the comment sections of every post. Fitness influencers and Hollywood gossip blogs dissected the video frame by frame, debating its implications. Was Jin taunting Wayne? Was this planned all along? Meanwhile, at the gym, the atmosphere was buzzing. Reporters swarmed the entrance, demanding answers. And then, as if he'd been waiting for the perfect moment, Jin Fiesel arrived. The blacked-out SUV rolled up to the curb with precision. The door opened and out stepped Jin in a sleek leather jacket, sunglasses firmly in place despite the setting sun. He took his time adjusting his jacket and strode toward the gym like he owned the place, which apparently he did. A reporter shouted, "Vin, what do you have to say about Wayne walking out?" Without breaking stride, Jin looked straight at the camera, lowered his sunglasses, and said, "Sometimes people can't handle the heat. But hey, that's why air conditioning exists." He grinned and continued inside, leaving the crowd buzzing. Once inside, Jin held an impromptu press conference. Standing in front of the controversial poster, he leaned into the microphone. "Let me clear the air," he began, his tone measured but smug. "This gym isn't about one person. It's about a movement. I came on board to take it to the next level. Wayne and I may have our differences, but at the end of the day, it's about what's best for the community." He paused, letting the words sink in. Then came the bombshell. "Wayne knew about my involvement," Jin said, his expression turning serious. "We talked about it months ago. I'm not sure why he's acting surprised now, but I'll leave that for him to explain." The room erupted. Reporters shouted over each other, trying to get a follow-up question in. Social media exploded yet again, this time with headlines like "Jin Fiesel exposes the sock," and "Did Wayne lie about the feud?" Meanwhile, somewhere in Beverly Hills, Wayne sat in his home gym scrolling through his phone. His jaw tightened as he watched Vin's press conference on the live stream. The audacity, the sheer nerve. Silent partner? Months ago, this was all news to him. His phone buzzed with a text from Jason Statham. "You gonna let him get away with that?" Wayne didn't reply. Instead, he stood up, grabbed a towel, and muttered under his breath, "Not a chance." The gauntlet had been thrown, and in true Hollywood fashion, the feud was far from over. The feud had now transcended Hollywood gossip and reached full-blown cultural phenomenon status. Morning talk shows, late-night hosts, and even news outlets were dissecting every moment like it was the biggest scandal of the decade. But just as the public thought they had seen it all, the plot thickened. Late one evening, a mysterious account on Twitter named Hollywood Leaks dropped a bombshell. Exclusive. Emails between Wayne Johnson and Jin Fiesel reveal the real reason for their fallout. Hashtag Sock versus Vin. The tweet included screenshots of an email exchange dated 3 years prior. In the leaked messages, Wayne appeared to pull out of a charity project spearheaded by Vin. The subject line read, "Creative differences. Final decision." Wayne's email was polite but firm, stating, "I don't think aligning my brand with this direction makes sense. Wishing you the best." Vin's response, however, was far from polite. "Your brand? What about loyalty? This was supposed to be bigger than us. You've shown your true colors." The internet exploded once again. Fans and critics poured over the emails, debating their authenticity and what it all meant. Had their feud really started over a charity project? Or was this just the tip of the iceberg? Wayne breaks his silence. Hours after the leak, Wayne went live on Instagram, his face visibly tense. Sitting in his home gym, he addressed his followers directly. "I wasn't planning to say anything," he began, his voice measured. "But since someone decided to leak private emails, let me make this clear. Yes, I pulled out of that project. And no, it wasn't because of creative differences." He leaned forward, his tone sharpening. "It was because Jin twisted that project into something it wasn't meant to be, his own personal PR campaign." Fans hung on to every word. Wayne continued, recounting how the charity, originally intended to benefit underprivileged kids, had started featuring Vin's face on marketing materials and press releases. It wasn't about the kids anymore. It became about boosting his image. His voice softened as he added, "I'm all for helping people, but not when it comes at the cost of integrity. That's the truth." Not one to let a moment pass, Jin responded the very next morning in a press conference staged at the gym. He stood in front of the now iconic poster and delivered a fiery speech. "Wayne loves to talk about integrity," Jin said, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "But let's not forget, he's the one who walked away when things got tough. That project was about unity, something he clearly doesn't understand." He then dropped his own bombshell. "What Wayne won't tell you is that he tried to buy out my shares in the gym last year. So much for this being about integrity." The crowd gasped as Jin held up a folder containing documents he claimed were proof. The leaked emails, paired with Vin's shocking accusation, divided fans even further. Hashtag Team Sock and hashtag Team Jin were now battling not just on Twitter, but in real life. A brawl reportedly broke out at a Los Angeles gym between two members arguing over who was right. Gym owners across the country started banning discussions about the feud altogether. Amid the chaos, one voice stood out. Wayne's mother, Ada Johnson, posted a heartfelt plea on social media. "I love my son, and I know his heart, but I also know that this feud isn't worth the pain it's causing. To both of you, let it go." The post went viral, tugging at the public's emotions. For a brief moment, fans wondered if reconciliation was possible, but any hopes of peace were dashed when Jin posted a cryptic photo of himself lifting weights with the caption, "Let it go. I'll let it go when the truth comes out." As the dust settled, a quiet ripple began to spread online. A gym employee anonymously leaked a set of blueprints showing plans for a Jin Fiesel-branded fitness product line to launch under the gym's banner. Dumbbells, protein shakes, even a cologne named Fiesel Fuel. It was all in the works. Fans couldn't believe it. Was this Vin's endgame all along? And more importantly, had Wayne known about it? The revelation added a new layer to the feud, one that felt less personal and more like a battle for dominance. But one thing was clear. The gloves were off and the fight was just getting started. The annual Hollywood Action Awards promised a night of glitz, glamour, and perfectly curated smiles. But this year, the spotlight wasn't on the nominees. It was on the simmering feud between Wayne Johnson and Jin Fiesel. The event's organizers, aware of the viral buzz, strategically placed their names in back-to-back categories, hoping for explosive moments. What they didn't expect was just how explosive it would get. Wayne arrived first, stepping out of a sleek black car with his signature charm turned up to maximum. His tailored suit fit like armor, and his megawatt smile didn't falter even as reporters bombarded him with questions about Vin. He kept it cool, delivering a single line. "Tonight's about celebrating action heroes, not drama. Let's keep it professional." Minutes later, Jin pulled up, oozing his usual mix of swagger and mystery. In a move that left jaws dropping, he wore a leather jacket over his suit, breaking the formal dress code. As he walked past the reporters, he tossed a casual, "Real strength doesn't need to be explained," clearly aimed at Wayne. The tension was so thick you could cut it with an action hero's prop knife. The night reached its boiling point when Jin took the stage to accept the award for Action Star of the Decade. Standing under the glaring lights, he held the trophy high and smirked. "This award means a lot," he began. "It's not just about the roles you take, but the strength you show off-screen. Real strength is about sticking through the tough times, unlike some who walk out when things don't go their way." The crowd erupted into awkward laughter and scattered applause. The cameras instantly cut to Wayne, sitting in the audience, his expression unreadable. He leaned back in his chair and his fingers tapping the armrest, a small but telling sign of his irritation. The real fireworks, however, happened off-camera. After the ceremony, both stars found themselves in the same narrow backstage hallway. Wayne, who had been avoiding Jin all night, finally stopped in his tracks when they crossed paths. "You got a lot of nerve," Wayne said, his voice calm but laced with steel. Jin smirked, leaning casually against the wall. "Oh, come on. Don't act like you didn't love the attention." Wayne took a step closer, towering over him. "This isn't about attention. This is about you sabotaging something I built." Vin's smirk faded for a second, but he quickly recovered. "What you built? You think the world revolves around you? Guess what, man? It doesn't. Some of us had to claw our way to the top without smiling for every damn camera." Their words hung in the air like a loaded gun. The hallway was silent except for the faint hum of the after-party music in the distance. Just as it seemed like things might escalate, a third voice cut through the tension. "Isn't this cozy?" John Cena stepped out of the shadows, holding his phone up. "You two are really giving me material for my podcast." Both Wayne and Jin turned toward him, their expressions shifting from anger to disbelief. "What the hell are you doing here?" Jin snapped. Cena grinned. "I was just enjoying the show. But now I'm thinking, maybe the world deserves to know what really went down between you two." Cena's interruption was more than just opportunistic. He played a recording from his phone, an argument between Wayne and Jin on the set of their last Fast and Furious movie. The audio was crackly, but clear enough to capture the tension. Vin's voice, "You think you're the only one who matters here? This franchise was built before you showed up." Wayne's voice, "And it's going to crumble if it keeps being dragged down by your ego." The recording ended and Cena pocketed his phone with a smug grin. Funny how history keeps repeating itself, huh? Before either could respond, Cena walked away, leaving them both standing in stunned silence. By the time they rejoined the after-party, word of the confrontation had already leaked. Whispers buzzed around the room, and soon enough, #CenaLeaks was trending on social media. Fans demanded answers, and conspiracy theories about Cena's involvement in the feud began circulating. But as the night ended, one thing was clear. The rivalry between Wayne and Jin had gone from a professional disagreement to a deeply personal war. And now there was a wild card in the mix, one who seemed just as eager to stir the pot as the others. The feud had reached a point where every headline, meme, and late-night joke revolved around Wayne Johnson and Jin Fiesel. But just when the world thought it couldn't get any more chaotic, a new twist emerged, one that would shake the foundation of everything they believed about the feud. The morning after the awards ceremony, a rogue PR agent, Angela Marks, went live on a popular celebrity gossip podcast. Her voice was steady but tinged with nerves as she dropped the first bombshell. "The feud between Wayne and Vin? It's not entirely what you think it is." The host leaned forward eagerly, asked, "You mean it's fake?" "Not exactly," Angela replied. "It's real, but it's been amplified by people like me." She revealed that the gym drama was part of a carefully orchestrated campaign to promote the facility and boost both stars' profiles. "We knew their rivalry was box office gold. A few tweaks here, a leaked email there. It wasn't hard to set things off." Her final revelation, though, was the kicker. "The thing is, I wasn't just working for the gym. There's another player in this game, a rival fitness brand that paid to keep the feud alive." The news hit Hollywood like a grenade. Wayne and Vin, both furious, independently demanded to meet Angela. Their teams, knowing the press would go nuclear if they were seen together, arranged a private sit-down at an empty conference room in a luxury hotel. When the two walked in and Angela was already there, flanked by lawyers, Wayne started the conversation bluntly. "You've got 5 minutes to explain yourself before I make you the most famous liar in Hollywood." Angela held up her hands. "Look, I'm not proud of what I did, but you both need to hear the full story. You think this is just about a gym? It's bigger than that." She slid a folder across the table. Inside were documents detailing a hostile corporate takeover attempt by a global fitness conglomerate. The gym was just a pawn in a much larger game. The rival company had been funding her efforts to pit the two stars against each other, knowing their feud would overshadow the gym's success and drive membership toward their brand instead. Jin leaned back, his jaw tight. "So we were just puppets in your little drama?" Angela nodded. "But you both played along beautifully." For the first time in years, Wayne and Jin found themselves on the same side. Their shared anger at being manipulated temporarily eclipsed their differences. As they left the meeting, Wayne turned to Vin. "We're not letting them get away with this," he said, his tone resolute. Jin smirked. "For once, we agree." The two launched a joint statement on social media, exposing the rival fitness conglomerate's scheme. They even appeared together in a live-stream interview where they pledged to take legal action. The internet went wild. Fans couldn't believe their eyes. The ultimate Hollywood enemies were working together. Just as the narrative seemed to turn in their favor, another bombshell dropped. A reporter at the press conference asked a loaded question. "Mr. Johnson, is it true you tried to buy out Vin's shares in the gym last year?" The room went silent. Wayne's expression hardened. "That's not relevant to what we're addressing today." But Jin wasn't having it. "Oh, it's relevant," he said, leaning into the microphone. "Why don't you tell them, Wayne? Tell them how you plan to cut me out before this whole thing even started." Wayne shot him a sharp look. "Don't twist this, Vin. You know why I did that." "Oh, I know exactly why," Jin retorted. "Because you couldn't stand the idea of sharing the spotlight." The room descended into chaos as reporters shouted over each other. The fragile alliance between the two stars shattered in real time, and the internet once again caught fire with hashtags. As the press conference disbanded in turmoil, a shadowy figure sat in an office somewhere far from Hollywood, watching the live stream. A phone rested on the desk, its screen displaying a contact labeled Hollywood Scandal Division. The figure smirked, tapping their fingers against a stack of files marked with other celebrity names. "They think this is over," they said, their voice low. "But this is just the beginning." The camera panned to reveal the stack of files, each one thicker than the last. The top file read, "Next target, Jason Statham." And so the saga of Wayne and Jin didn't just end. It evolved into a larger web of betrayals, manipulations, and rivalries that would keep the world glued for years to come.